Carmen went through a really tough stage in her life, a really tough time where she lost her mom and her sister.
Oh, God, I can't even explain what she went through. It was very hard for Carmen to cope with it.
When her mom passed away, that's when all the dysfunction started happening in her life.
Sometimes you just want to escape and go outside of yourself, and I think that's where Dennis came in.
She met Dennis Rodman in 1998.
Let's just say the first time Carmen met Dennis, we should have made a U-turn and walked away from that club.
She said it was like instantaneous, like two people just bam.
I really didn't give a shit about girls. I just like went out there and had my fun. With her, she was a different story. I really got into her after a while.
I think the fascination with Carmen and Dennis in that time frame was Beauty and the Beast. Nobody could quite figure out what the relationship was all about.
Everyone thought it was just such an odd couple.
She was larger than life, and he was partying and dressing in drag and all these kinds of crazy things.
Dennis Rodman, the intensified bad boy. Carmen Electra, the sweet, innocent Cinderella, type of girl.
She loves that on the edge kind of guy. Loves the bad boy. Can't leave the bad boy alone.
I admit, I have a weakness for bad boys.
The guy that everybody wants to be and all the girls want to be with, that's what Carmen loves. Bottom line, Dennis Rodman.
Dennis was her escape.
I think she just needed some type of outlet, some type of, relief, something different.
So they went on this complete adventure of numbing themselves and playing and getting into crazy things.
He loved to party, and there was always something to do.
We would go to straight clubs, we'd go to gay clubs.
We would go to strip bars.
It's like a traveling circus. Wherever he was, that's where the party was.
Everybody wanted to be around Dennis Rodman. Everybody wanted to party with Dennis Rodman.
That was my claim to fame, was just being a wild, crazy guy.
It was just a whirlwind. It was pandemonium, but it was, it was fun for her.
Yeah.
He's wild, but he's also very sweet, and he was very much in love with Carmen.
Dennis was a very spontaneous type of person. He was romantic.
He has serenaded nude to her.
And she said, Shane, he treats me so good. When he's with me, he acts like a kid, and he treats me like a princess, and that's all I want right now.
She was in love, she was young, she was crazy. She got caught up in it.
I think Dennis and Carmen had been dating for about 4 or 5 months.
We all went to Vegas in a private jet.
I'm downstairs gambling, winning, having a good time.
And I get a phone call from Dennis, like at 5 in the morning. Monica, come downstairs. I'm like, why? What do you want? I'm gonna marry Carmen. And I was like, no way.
I'm here now. Screw this, man. I'm gonna go get this girl. Let's go do this right now.
I don't think it was like on one knee and, will you marry me? And I don't think there was any romance involved.
So I went upstairs and said, hey, get your ass up. He said, who get married? She said, what? I said, who get married? She just had this big smile on her face. You really serious? Yeah, let's go.
And then finally we found the chapel.
What chapel of flowers on the strip in Las Vegas.
I remember the priest giving the vows, and, he was taking a really long time.
This ring symbolized all the love and cherish that you guys are going to have, and you just start going nuts, and I'm looking around like this son of a bitch. I said, what the hell are you talking about?
And Dennis goes,
hey, hurry the up!
We looked at each other, and we're like, no, he didn't just cuss the priest out. We couldn't believe it.
She was right there just laughing. It's wow, she's a trooper, boy. That's how we got married right there.
And you can call it a marriage made in Las Vegas, if not in heaven.
I was like, what? You did what? You got married?
I totally was like, wait a minute. I thought I knew this girl.
I just was in shock. Oh, Lord, no.
And then it just exploded into this whole random negative, bad vibe press thing.
The next day, Dennis Rodman's manager released a statement stating that Carmen had gotten Dennis drunk to marry her, which, of course, was false.
I'm like, oh, God. I'm shocked. I didn't do anything like that.
It was all over the news.
So I get this phone call from Carmen. She's belligerent, just crying, just delirious.
Carmen was like, what's going on? We were all pissed off because that's not what happened.
Dennis totally came out a few days later and said, no, I really wanted to marry her. But it was kind of a little too late. The paparazzi and the media had a frenzy with this. You know, these two iconic figures, Carmen Electra, Dennis Rodman, Mary.
How could it not make for good TV?
She didn't want that press.
It was nasty, and they were trying to make her not look good.
It was like she was a joke.
Things started getting out of hand with Dennis. The respect was gone between the both of them.
But I know that they did have love for each other. They just, it was an ill love, I think.
It was a real relationship. It was just like real dysfunctional.
She couldn't handle the fact that all the people that was in her ear was telling her, you can't be with that guy. That guy's gonna ruin your career. He's gonna ruin your life. I heard it every day.
She started realizing that as much as she loves this man, it's just not gonna work.
I said, well, Jason, why don't you go down and go to the courthouse and get a divorce?
Her image with Dennis affected her career. She made choices that I'm sure she didn't think were so good.
We all kind of have our movies that we've done that we're not proud of. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
I don't think she was clear-headed because she wasn't in a really good frame of mind.
I've got news for you, mister. If you just want some cheap slut, you've come to the wrong gal.
After they divorced, Carmen and Dennis remained friends for a long time.
We got back together. I mean, we saw each other on and off.
And of course, he kept doing crazy dysfunctional things.
It got kind of funky after a while.
They got into kind of like a loud little fight.
And he got aggressive with her.
She was, trying to hit me.
She was fighting him back, you know what I mean?
It was more like pushing this and that, knocking me down here. It was just like that. It wasn't like, I never swung at her. I never raised my hand to her.
Electra and Rodman arrested early Friday morning at the Bentley Hotel in South Beach.
All of a sudden, CNN comes on, and then I see my girl, arrested, and I see Dennis arrested, and I was like, oh my God.
They took both of us to jail in the same paddy wagon. I was sitting on one side, she was sitting on the other, but we was talking to each other through the wall. And I was saying, yeah, I love you. She's up there crying and saying the same thing, and we was... That shit was crazy.
There's a mugshot of my friend, She has a record now. She's gonna hate this picture.
She walked into the courtroom with her makeup and Rodman in handcuffs and stuff like that. It blew my mind.
The judge ordering Rodman and Electra to stay away from each other, no contact whatsoever.
Do you understand that? Ms. Patrick, you are not allowed to have any type of contact of any kind with Dennis Rodman.
I know that you love your man, but this can't last.
A lot of stuff I did that was nuts. My relationship was all screwed up with every girl I messed with because the way I was so up.
What was once great escapism for her turned into something very distracting and destructive.
After the whole fiasco, her life seemed to be spinning out of control. I just felt like this is like a new low.
Next, Carmen picks up the pieces.
I could just see a little flicker in her eyes, kind of like the old Carmen was coming back.
And finds true love.
We just connected. I just said, there's something special here, and I just went for it.